Shetty, we end every episode with a final 5. These questions have to be answered in 1 word or 1 sentence maximum. So Shetty's all right. These are your final 5.
Okay.
Question number 1. What is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
My mum always encouraged me, if you want it, ask for it.
Great advice.
So I asked my husband to marry me.
Did you?
I did.
Tell us that story.
Okay, but that's more than a sentence or a word.
No, you can go. Yes,
Okay.
Now you've got my attention. Yeah.
So my incredible husband Faisal, he's also co-author. So a lot of the ideas, I wrote it, but a lot of the ideas are our ideas. When I met him, I had a deep knowing. It wasn't even an emotional thing. It was a deep knowing that, okay, this is the person I want to spend my life with. And then we got to a point where I said to him, it was very quick. It all happened in a year. We met, we were married within about 9 months. I said to him, I can see us having an amazing life together. It was basically like, look, this might be forward, but I can see us having an amazing life together. That was essentially me proposing. And then he said, how do we make that happen? And that was him accepting. And that was it. So there was no, will you marry me, getting on one knee. It was just a conversation.
That's great.
Making sure we're both on the same page. And then it happened so quickly. And then from that moment to when we were married was like 3 months.
I love that.
Yeah. So if you want to ask, because in fact, Steve Jobs shares this story of how when he was young, he was about 12 years old, and his neighbor was the head of Hewlett Packard. And one day he just asked, he said, can I come in and learn some things? Can I just come into the office? And he said it was that ability that he had to just ask, because 99.7% of people will not ask. They will wait for someone to tap themselves on the shoulder to give them the opportunity. Yeah. They will wait to get the promotion or get given the raise. It doesn't work like that. We don't live in that world, especially in the context of work, where studies have found that, especially in big organizations, managers don't remember at least 60% of what their teams do. They either don't know or don't remember, which means if your manager is not aware of what you're delivering, you need to ask for what you want and demonstrate it by way of tangible value, right? Here's what I'm delivering. Here's what I'm asking. So we have to ask. So that was wonderful advice from my mom.
I love that. Question number 2. What's the worst advice you ever heard or received?
The worst advice that I got was when I worked in banking. I had someone say to me, it was a manager at the time. He said, I think you should just go into roles where you help people. Now, the reason why I found that bad advice at the time is he was saying it because he was trying to undermine me. I was in a highly strategic role. He was basically encouraging me not to pursue that and to just go and help people. Now, if someone says that to you in a bank, it's not a good thing. The reason why that was bad advice is that sometimes we get advice. This is such a long response. Sorry. But sometimes we get advice from people that they come out as if they're caring about you and they have your best interests at heart. But really it's discouragement framed as advice, as was this one. Now, little does he know, my entire career now is helping people. So I took that advice and I ran with it, and I'm so grateful for it. But great. In that environment, that was terrible advice to give somebody.
Yeah.
So I think it's so important when it comes to advice, acknowledge that people are only going to tell you things based on their frame of reference. So what they would do if they were you, or they might be trying to discourage you.
Yeah.
So you can take it if you want to. You can leave it if you want to. I want to share just one other thing. It's not a question. I think we've finished the 5 questions, right? Because I've gone over others too. Yeah. I have one other thing that I want to share here, which is not related to these two, but I have to say it because it's so powerful and simple. What we found is when people go on the journey of growth, any journey of growth, like people who have gone through the Big Trust framework and seen those transformative impacts in their lives, they get comments from those around them. Like, what is the most common comment someone would say if someone's been on this journey of growth? There's 2 words. Any ideas?
If they've been on your journey of growth.
Any journey of growth. Not only, it can be on any journey of personal development, growth.
And what would they say to describe that journey?
Well, what other people say to them is usually, you've changed. And when they say you've changed, it's generally not coming from a positive, supportive place.
Yes. Yeah.
It's coming from a place of, I don't like how you're outshining me right now. You're no longer in this mold that I have for you. And it's making me uncomfortable. Never allow someone else's discomfort to prevent you from going on your journey. Those who are meant to be with you on the journey will join you on the journey. And this is really hard when it's family or loved ones or close friends. The best response in that moment, rather than allowing it to undermine your sense of self-trust and doubt your choices, is 2 words. Actually, 3 words. Thanks for noticing. Thanks for noticing. Growth has been a priority for me. It's awesome that it's working. You flip something that would otherwise be a negative into an absolute positive, which does two things. It makes you feel really good about it, but also from their perspective, it suddenly flips them to think, oh, maybe I can do that too. Growth has been a priority for her. Maybe I can make growth my priority, and it opens them up. It almost gives them permission to do the same. So when someone says you've changed, respond with, thanks for noticing.
I love that. That's
powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such a great response because it's also showing that you see it as a positive rather than most of us. I think also when you're in your growth journey, your initial reaction is also, what do you mean? Why? Is there a bad thing?
No, I'm the same person.
Because you're still trying to grapple with it and you're still trying to fit and grow at the same time. Whereas when you're fully grown, you won't care and you'll be like, oh okay, cool. Like, thank you. Thanks for noticing. And so, I love that response. It's brilliant. And you're spot on that. I think also half the time, there's a brilliant piece of wisdom called Hanlon's Razor. And it says, Hanlon says, don't attribute to malice what can be adequately explained by ignorance or stupidity.
Beautiful.
And it's one of my favorite freeing, I'm writing about it in my book right now. It's one of the most freeing things I've come across because our mind has this thing to turn everything everyone says to us into malice.
Yeah.
And that person literally said it as a passing comment. They kind of thought of it for 2 minutes. They said something, but it wasn't that deep. They're not obsessing over it, but we take it as like, oh my God, they think I've changed and they hate who I've become. And
especially if we struggle with big trust on any of these elements.
Totally. And the truth is, it's not malice. It's just someone's ignorance.
Completely.
It's someone's stupidity. It's someone's lack of time. It's someone's lack of capacity.
Yes.
It's someone's busyness. And it's, and it's funny because it's almost like when we say you've changed to someone, we think we have good intentions. And when someone says it to us, it comes with that. So I love that. Thanks for noticing because it doesn't come from a place of revenge. It doesn't come a place from proving yourself. It doesn't come because otherwise we're like, I've changed. Oh no, I'm still the same. I'll prove it to you. Like let's go back out to the party or whatever. And it's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. And so I love thanks for noticing because it isn't revenge. It isn't proving yourself. It isn't validation. It isn't tell me how. I want to know.
Exactly.
Like it's not looking for praise and approval. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I love how you mentioned Hanlon's Razor. Yeah. Have you heard of Wisiati from Dan Kahneman?
No.
So Wisiati.
I love Dan Kahneman.
Oh, he's
You're like
fantastic.
naming all my favorite people.
Great. He's brilliant. His work is so phenomenal and something that fundamentally changed my life. And I think if you can also grasp this idea, it will fundamentally change your life. It's very similar to Hanlon's Razor, but just a little bit broader. Wisiati is an abbreviation for, or an acronym for, what you see is all there is. And what he was describing in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow, is that when we have an interaction with someone, we will draw conclusions about that person and that situation from that 2-second interaction. Because what we see is all there is in that environment. But actually, there is so much more that led to that situation. Maybe that person was having a really bad day. Maybe that person's relationship just broke down and you're meeting them right at that point. Maybe they're in pain. And yet we have this 1 second, 2 second, 1 minute interaction. Our brain goes into what you see is all there is. And you forget that there's so much else. And this leads to what's called fundamental attribution error. Okay. So Jay, when you're driving on the street and someone cuts you off, do you usually have certain feelings towards that person who cut you off?
Of course. Yeah.
Of course, right? And you make certain assumptions about their personality.
Totally.
Oh my gosh, careless, ignorant, blah, blah. That's called fundamental attribution error because if you accidentally cut someone off.
Totally.
No, I wasn't even paying attention.
I was in a rush.
Exactly.
My friend's struggling. Like I'm trying to help them out. Yeah.
So that idea of someone cutting you off, what you see is all there is, that must be a reflection of their attributes and character and personality.
Yeah.
But what Kahneman encourages us to do, which is similar to Hanlon's Razor, is get a broader picture of what else could have been going on for this person. And I love it when you're driving because I don't get road rage, not at all, but I do find sometimes if there's a lot of traffic and I'm in a rush, I tend to get into the what you see is all there is.
Yeah.
So if someone's rushing or speeding, I will go through and think, okay, what are the 3 things that could be happening for this person? Maybe they're busting to use the toilet, or their wife has just gone into labor, or they've just heard that their kid's been abducted. You don't know, right? And it's beautiful because it just reminds you that you're not the center of the universe. It feels like you are, but you're not. And when you realize that you're not, it gives you this sense of, I find it very empowering to know that we're actually part of something much bigger than just us and I, me, my.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love it. Okay.
I love it.
Question number 3. What is a line of self-talk that you use most often for yourself?
Care less, care more.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Okay. So we post content, and we have since 2020, basically during the pandemic we started. And I still find, so we do it ourselves. We don't have a team that does our posting. It's something we're happy to do because we like the process of being connected. Every time I'm about to post something, I have a voice in my head. What are people going to think? Are they going to like this? They're going to think you're silly. You're not articulate enough. You're not credible enough. I literally have to say to myself, care less. Care less about what people think. And so I used to just do the care less, and that was helpful. But then Faisal, my husband and business partner, he said, okay, it's great that you've got the care less, but what are you caring more about?
Oh, so good.
Don't just focus on what the kind of negative, oh, I'm going to care less. What are you focusing more on? So now I say, okay, care less about what people think, care more about being of service, being of value, being of impact.
I love that.
Leaving a positive legacy.
That's brilliant.
And it's beautiful, and it's something you can use in the moment when you're about to step onto stage, when you're about to approach a stranger in a bar, when you're about to have that conversation about your pay raise. Care less about the outcome, care more about making this person feel seen or demonstrating my value. It's beautiful and so simple.
Yeah, I love that. I also love it because the care less part makes sense. And also one thing I realized over time was also caring more about the people who left qualitative, positive feedback.
Oh, yes.
Like learning to actually care more, because it's so easy to skip past beautiful comments where everyone's like, you are so articulate, Sade. Yeah. You are so credible, Sade. You are so knowledgeable,
we
Sade.
Ignore it.
And you kind of just go, yeah, whatever. And that care more, care less works well there too. I'm not saying only to care about things when people say nice things about you. I think it's important to be able to listen to criticism and negativity and feedback, and of course, but I think the idea of we don't receive praise with nearly as much depth as we receive criticism.
No.
And that is a huge issue for us as humans, where we don't know how to receive a compliment. We don't know how to receive a pat on the back. But if someone says something negative to us, we know how to receive that. We will hold on to that for the rest of our lives and carry it around wherever we go.
You know why?
Yeah, go on.
Because of the scars that we carry.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone is giving you praise, it's because your self-image doesn't feel it deserves it, and so it doesn't internalize it. But when someone criticizes you, criticism only hurts if you deep down believe that about yourself.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to where you are on these 4 pillars. So if you receive criticism and you take it personally, it's often because you have a low level of acceptance. Mm-hmm. And deep down, you don't feel that you're worthy. You're trying to appear a certain way or prove something. And so what that person says hurts so much because it is cutting at that deep wound that you have.
Yeah.
And so again, it's this idea of, yes, as you say, how do we acknowledge more of the positive things that come through and use that to reshape our identity, reshape our self-image?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That scar reset you shared at the beginning.
Isn't it fascinating?
Yeah, it's so good. Question number 4, how do you define your current purpose?
Someone once asked me, what is the one word I want people to say about me at my funeral? And without thinking, I said that she cared. And then I thought about it a bit more, and I probably would have had all these other things. But I think the fact that that came through so clearly for me when I didn't think about it, my purpose is to live a life where I'm caring about other people. And that looks like me being present for them, me serving them through the work that we do, helping them through our programs, through this book. It's fundamentally because I care about people overcoming what is holding them back. And I care about them living fulfilling and successful and meaningful lives. And so everything I do is aligned behind that. What about you, Jay?
What's that?
How would you define your purpose in just a few words?
The way I've chosen to describe it right now is that to make the world happier, healthier, and more healed.
Beautiful.
And the word that I really lean to in all of those is healing. I value healing more than happiness, and health I do value equally as healing. But I think even in our health, we're always healing. And so I think the challenge is, my take is everyone's hurt in some way, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and everyone's healing. And so if we can help create a more healed world, a healing world, actually, even more than healed, because healed means it's done. And so a healing world is a good world. And so if I can be useful in and of service to helping people heal in whichever area they're struggling in through people like yourselves and the wonderful experts and people who come and share their stories on the show, then that to me is the world that I want to live in, is a world that is healing always, because we're always going to feel pain and always going to get hurt. So then there has to be an equal focus on healing.
It's beautiful. And I love it that it almost going back to the idea of the scar.
Yeah.
It's like also healing the scars that we have.
Yeah, it's healing. And that's what you're going to have to do because, you're healing your self-image according to, what you were saying earlier.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Fifth and final question.
I kind of don't want you to ask it because I don't want this to end.
I know. I can literally talk to you for another 3 hours. I'm like, this is the fifth and final question. If you could create one law, and we ask this to every guest who's ever been on the show, if you could create one law that everyone in the world had to follow, what would it be?
It would be to leave each person better than you found them.
Yeah, it's a good law.
That'd be it.
Yeah, each place, each person, each
animal,
each meeting, each team, it would be so much better. Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful. We've never had that on the show. Shetty, thank you so much today. The book is called Big Trust, Rewire Self-Doubt, Find Your Confidence and Fuel Success. Pre-order your copy right now. Follow Shetty on Instagram, TikTok, across all of social media. If you don't already, you're going to absolutely love her content. She's as articulate online and offline. I can't wait for you to read this book. I can't wait for you to practice these principles. It truly is a masterclass. And Shetty, I'm so grateful to you. So thankful that we got to spend this time together.
Thank you for having me.
I hope this is the first of many times you'll come on the show.
I hope so. So. Thank you. It's been such a treat.
Thank you.